Hello. So this is the second part of the series on what is intelligence. I request all of you to listen things very carefully, think, and then please give your opinions. See, again here also I will be considering initially the good old spider. See, remember why I am sticking to spider initially. There are so many animals, insects, etc. Because of one important reason, that the brain to body size ratio. We all know that ants are having very big brains compared to the body size. Because one of the fundamental logic of intelligence is brain must be bigger to have a greater intelligence. That is the concept anyway. And these spiders are having astonishingly low ratio. That means brain is extremely small when compared to the size of the body. Of course, the size of the body itself is small and brain is extremely small. The ratio is very less. Even then, they are extremely intelligent compared to their brain size. Especially something like jumping spiders, one of the variety, they are extremely intelligent species among the spiders. It's a very peculiar thing. We can compare two insects, two persons, etc., who is more intelligent without knowing what intelligence is. Anyway, there is one very important, we all know from our high school days, that a spider cannot be fooled twice. Look at this, a spider cannot be fooled twice, which means it can be fooled once, but not after that. What is this? See, I'll tell you about my own experiment which I did during my high school days. Of course, my brother was also there and he was also interestingly involved. What we did was, there was a spider web and I was curious to know when the spider comes towards the insect or the prey. Whenever a prey or whatever it is comes and clings to the web, it will run towards it from the center. Then I took a very small piece of paper, threw it on the web, and of course a paper will stick, if it is small, to the web. But remember, the spider just vibrated a little and it never came towards the paper. Then I realized that spider is intelligent. It simply from the center itself decided that that is not the insect, because of the fact that whenever there is an insect, it will struggle and try to come away from the web. This is not doing that one. So that must be some object like leaf or whatever it is. That much of intelligence it showed. Not only that one. After some time, it came from its very intelligent logic, very easily and very quickly removed all the clinging webs to the paper, and the paper fell down. Why should it do? It is known to clean all the dust and other leafy things, non-living things which are sticking to the web periodically. It is just because if there are so many such things visible in the spider web, the insect will not come at all. The insect will detect that there is a spider web and it will fly away. So the spider will clean it and make it neat so that the web is almost invisible. That is another very intelligent part of the spider. All these things we can simply say that it is a reflex action, that we will discuss later. Then I did something else. I just folded the paper and then whatever you call as a plastic material, some elasticity will be there in paper also. It is not just the spring that will come back to its original position. Paper also to some extent will try to come back to some original position. So I folded the paper so that when you just drop it somewhere, it will try to unfold, mimicking a struggling insect. So this time I threw it onto the web. Then the paper started unfolding, almost like a struggling insect. The spider came, and then somehow it realized when it touches the paper or very near to it, it realized that that is not an insect. Again it removed that paper and went back. For the same spider web, after about an hour, I did the same thing. Again a similar paper, folded, threw it some other place on the same web. This time also the paper was unfolding exactly in the similar way, but the spider never came. What is this? This is the sentence. A spider cannot be fooled twice. Now it has stored that paper vibration in the memory. It has analyzed it. Second time it compares it and realizes that again it is an unfolding paper. I should not go quickly. After some time it will come and take out that paper. So that means these are the aspects of intelligence. What we call as intelligence must be having one of the extremely important parameter called memory, where the informations are stored, and once those informations are analyzed, we will call it as knowledge. Once it is applied to the new circumstance, we will call it as intelligence. So according to one definition of intelligence, this is how we call or analyze the intelligence. So since the spider is doing all these things, remember the spider size was very small. So in such a small spider, we are having all these things. Storage of information, analysis, then decision making. All these things happened in the same spider. That means it is learning. It is intelligent. Okay, these are some of the very simple aspects of intelligence. Now, scientists have found out some very astonishing thing. That is, since the spider itself is small, in many spiders, brain extends up to the legs of the spider. Remember, brain is not confined to the head only. In spiders, it will extend up to the legs. In legs also some portion. So leg of a spider is thinking because brain is there. This is a very important information, and of course it is astonishing. Probably when we evolve too much, our brain also will become bigger and extended to the legs, so that we will become extremely intelligent after several million years. Yet to see. Anyway, now there is one more concept which appears like intelligence, and some people will still debate, but it is not in the brain. That drives us to another question: where is intelligence? Will it be there even if there is no brain? In the subsequent parts 3, 4, etc., we will discuss plants, etc. Now I will give you one more simple example which we all know from again high school lessons, that when we touch the hot object, very quickly we will remove, remember, we will remove our hand before the signal goes to the brain, which means before we realize that it was hot and therefore we are removing it. Then who decided? The neurons, etc. Some reflex action decided. The reflex action is programmed in such a way that whenever it is extremely hot, quickly remove the hand and then send the signal to the brain, because sending the signal takes more time. You have to quickly remove. Who has done this program? Definitely we say that nature has somehow done this program. Later on we will think of artificial intelligence, where we program a robot to do very complicated intelligent like operations, and we will call that as artificial intelligence. When the nature programs, we will call it as real intelligence. When we program, we are a part of a nature. When we program, then it is called as artificial intelligence. Anyway, those discussions are later. Now, since a decision of removing the hand, etc., came out without the action of the brain, then we can think of intelligence almost without brain also. Anyway, where was the storage? Where was the memory? No, reflex action. So what is our definition now? Therefore, we will not call this as intelligence at all. We will simply call it as reflex action. Then a question comes, when we program it in complicated way, such that a reflex action, etc., etc., appears like intelligence, is it possible? Or what we call intelligence now, the real intelligence, is it also a complex program and reflex action? Think it over. We will discuss all these things in the remaining parts. I will tell you some very extremely important experiments and extremely interesting facts in the remaining parts. Thank you very much for listening.